Hello. Breaking news. Poshmark just changed shipping. Okay, so this just happened today, literally maybe less than an hour ago, maybe two. And for those of you sellers that you sell bundles of heavy items, this live is specially for you. But this is not only about Poshmark. We're going to be talking about multiple marketplaces. I'm just starting with Poshmark because this is breaking news. So now they introduce a 15 pounds category. They dissolve. Remember how we had these 6 pounds, 7 pounds, 8 pounds, 9 pounds, etc. They dissolve all that, okay, and they keep it simple. 5.1 pounds to 10 pounds, $5 to upgrade, and then 2.1 pounds to 15 pounds now is $10 to upgrade. So that is exactly, this is very strategic, okay? And I'm very, very excited. And hi everybody. Anybody on the comments, please let us know if you have shipped over 5 pounds in Poshmark before. And impressive today. I'm not alone. I just want to introduce my co-host, Trish. Welcome, Trish.
Hey, how are you, Clara?
Doing great. But we have someone very, very special that is going to help us to really elaborate on this complex matter that we're going to make simple for you today. Let's welcome an experienced reseller, incredible list perfectly user, and incredible advocate. Hi, everybody.
Hello, ladies.
Hi, Desiree. Welcome. Lux on a dime. Sorry about that. We have some audio problems, but thank you, Desiree. Welcome to our live.
Thank you for having me. I always love being here with you, and I am a huge supporter of List Perfectly.
Thank you.
Yay.
All right. What a topic, Trish, huh?
Yes, ma'am. Always exciting. I love when they come out with things that will help us. And I really think that this could be a little bit, I know we throw this word around a lot, but this could be a little bit of a game changer for Poshmark. Not across the board, but for Poshmark. I think, look at Poshmark has been making moves lately, guys, making moves. They are changing things. They want compliance. They're doing lots of things, but one of the things they are doing, Tommy in Seattle, let me just say, we have missed you. I just want you to know, Tommy. But they've been making moves. And one of the things that they made a move on today was shipping. And I've been saying it for a few weeks. Things are coming down the pike and this came down. So I'm hoping this is going to open up some bundle sales for everybody.
Absolutely. And heavy items. So bundle sellers, heavy items. That was the one thing we were all, and I think Desiree must have sent so many messages that the Poshmark was like, okay, we're done. We're going to create this feature for Desiree. Maybe it was because of people like Desiree, but thank you again. And congratulations, Tracy. I know Tracy San, co-founder of Poshmark, was the one that I spoke with her, and she told me that she was the one that originally created the first acute, if you please, the big discount that they got with USPS. So that's one of the things that makes Poshmark very different from other marketplaces, including eBay. Love you, eBay. Love you. But okay, the agreement that Poshmark has with USPS and the discounts they're transferring to resellers, it's something that we want other marketplaces to get inspired, right, Trish?
Absolutely. And I want to say that, if you have been till this point somebody who guessed at weight for Poshmark specifically, right? A lot of sellers, look at Desiree. Desiree, how many people have done it? How many people won't do it anymore? So when you first start, one of the great things about Poshmark is you kind of just throw it in a box and you can ship it out, right? You don't need a scale. You don't need those things. But the longer you sell and the more of a quote unquote professional reseller you become, you have to do certain things. And one of the things you have to do is weigh your packages. And now with these different steps for Poshmark, it's going to become even more important. And another thing we used to do on Posh is you would just throw everything in and worry about it later. And now there's going to be a little bit more strategy involved.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I
So
very much
I have-
appreciate it. I appreciate the over 5 pounds. I sell a lot of big shoes, boots, winter items. I mean, certain jackets can't go on Posh. And I'm sure the reason they did this is because of somebody like me, because I kept getting my hand slapped about sending over 5 pounds. Because I mean, at that point, I was willing to take the risk. If it's a $300 item, I'm going to get slapped on the hand, or you can charge me the overage. Because at that point, I was willing to eat that money.
Right.
Right.
So Malika is very happy. Malika's in the chat. She says, heavy items, sir. Yes, sir, please. And then I really wanted to point this out too. This we have not talked about. We do have a little presentation we're going to do in a minute. But one of the great things is they are now allowing you to do bundle items across multiple purchases. So it used to be that you could only bundle items that were made like at one time. And now somebody could buy from you and then you could combine them. So that's really great.
Mm-hmm. And did you see that one package is allowed even if it is over 5 pounds? So that's just epic. That is really, I think that's one of the big changes that the community has been asking. And definitely this makes selling bundles stronger than ever. So to those of you selling on Poshmark and understanding the power of bundling for reseller, for buyers, this is the time now. No longer you will have to look for third-party solutions. You can still try. Hey, for example, Desiree, you use which one? Viquo, I think.
Yep, I do. I use Viquo, and I use the platforms themselves, depending on how much the product is. If it's a high-end product that I'm selling for a large amount of money, you better believe I'm going to use Depop shipping, or I'm going to use platform shipping, because they're going to cover me with the most security that I can if anything happens to that item. But if it's a $20 t-shirt, a $40 pair of shoes, I'm going to go with what gives me the best option, which is a third party.
Yep. And to our viewers, okay, they're the platforms that we're talking about. It's Viquo versus Pirate Ship. And I just want to show real quick Pirate Ship. It's pretty much attached, as you can see, to USPS. Somehow I see UPS here, but they don't have that many different mail carriers versus Viquo that they have more mail carriers. So it really depends to our audience on, like Desiree very well said, you have to explore different third parties or see if you can ship it natively from the marketplace. I think that's, Carrie says love Pirate Ship. Yeah, no, it's a great company.
Yeah, and this kind of just goes into this, like shipping isn't just printing a label and moving on, right? Shipping can directly affect our profit margins. Shipping can directly affect buyer experience. Shipping can directly affect returns and account health, right? Account health. And it can affect that. So we want to make sure when we are deciding how we're going to ship something and where we're going to ship it, that we make a decision based on facts and not just how we're feeling that day. The other thing I would like to say is there is a commercial out there right now that talks about being a cross-platform seller. And one of the things that this says is you don't need to know the platforms. It's just a couple clicks, do it. And I am going to say that is a terrible idea. It's terrible because just the way Desiree just said, if you don't understand what's happening on the platform, you may sell it fine, but you could lose all of your money in the shipping if you're not careful. You could lose all of your profit. You could be negative profit if you're not careful, if you do something wrong on these things.
Shipping is the element that I see where my community, my resellers are bleeding the most, and they're not aware, Trish. This is a problem.
Well, and there is rising carrier costs. USPS keeps going up. Platform rule enforcement are changing. We saw this week, Poshmark is coming down. They've changed the way they ship also. It used to be you had, how long, Desiree? 10 days?
Yes, they extended it to 10 days. Before it was 3 days when they first opened Posh, then they went to 5. Now they've extended it to 10. You have actually 10 days before the customer can officially cancel.
but it's 2 days now. They've gone down. They can cancel after 10, but they've gone down. They want you in the mail by 2 now.
Yeah.
So they're changing the way they do things. And so you've got to just stay aware. And so not knowing the platforms is a bad thing to tell your customers. And I would never, ever say that.
Well, that's the thing. That's not sustainable, Trish.
It's not sustainable. Right.
Here, at least perfectly, we're not here to give you advice, okay, and see if it sticks to the wall. What we're teaching here are sustainable practices. So not only you can maintain, okay, that profit, okay, level that you are desiring or you're used to, but also we can help you grow that sustainable without going through peaks of up and down, which is not good when it comes to grow your business.
Agreed. And if shipping, I wrote down, if shipping isn't dialed in, everything else suffers. Not understanding how to ship, right? And then how many times when we first started, it would take us so long to ship something, especially if you're not a clothing seller, right? You had to learn how to do glass. All of these things take away from listing more items. So the more you can get all of this dialed in, the better off you are. And again, account health, right? So you've got to have that dialed in. But now the big update that Clara mentioned at the top of this is the Poshmark update. So what's changed in simple terms? Clara already said this. Over 5 pounds is now. Before, over 5 pounds, it was very difficult. You had to offer, you had to do things. It was a difficult thing to do. And it could cost you up to $22.50 to send these things. And and you could only go up to 10 pounds, right, Desiree, before? I think.
Yes. No, 5 pounds. 5 pound limit for Posh.
No, 10 pounds. You could go up to 10 pounds, and it was 20.
You could, yes, with the extra label.
Right.
And you had to pay $10 for that extra label, which was more than the original 5 pound label. So people like me would split them up. I would tell my customer, buy these 3 pairs of pants, and then I'll give you free shipping on the other 3 pairs of pants. And I'll send them to you in 2 packages.
So, and that's the other thing that's going to stop now. Now you won't have to split up packages. And I would like to say that, in my opinion, that's going to help with compliance, right? Yeah. Because now I'm only tracking 1 package. I only have to be in charge of 1 package. I am not out there trying to figure out things. So it's going to be cheaper bundles, coats, denim, shoes, hard goods, multi-order items, all of those things. That's going to become easier because of today's announcement. And it's only $5 extra or $10 extra. I understand that at this moment, though, the seller is the one with this is not being put onto Posh. I don't think into the.
I wonder how that's now going to work with us offering the 10% off and the discounted shipping. So when we select that we're going to offer the customer free shipping, if it's a larger package, we're going to be eating that $10. So make sure you keep that in mind. If it's a $20 shirt and you're sending 15 of them and it ends up being over that weight and you're giving them that free shipping that you promised them, remember, now that you're not eating that $6, you're now eating 10.
But at least what's great about it is it gives us the ability to do it, right? I love the idea that because for a long time, I did free shipping. I don't do it anymore because of the cost. It's a little cost prohibitive, but I would love to do it. If you bought so many items, I'll do free shipping, right? So somebody like me, it's just one of those things that you just have to be aware. I mean, Desiree's 100% right. Just make sure you're keeping it in mind when you're doing these things.
Exactly.
But fewer split shipments is great because it's going to be easier. And always compliance. And so this is another way that Poshmark is trying to get us still into this idea of more compliance, I believe.
Do you think that they added this on so that it would also reduce their cancellations? Because for somebody like me who did have those huge packages, I would have to cancel.
Yes.
This was a friction point for Poshmark.
Exactly.
And they realized, or you provide a solution, or we don't provide a solution in that method that they have of capping, and the extra fees that you were paying, it was not a good method. So there you go. They reiterated, they produced something good. So stay tuned, because next is eBay. Okay. This is not a Poshmark special. Buckle up.
No. We're just talking about this because it was announced. But I just want to say the other thing that I think I just want to give, I have been a Poshmark complainer for the last couple of weeks. Not complainer. I understand where they're trying to go, but they haven't been doing it the way I want them to do it. But
Right.
this is one of, one of the cleaner updates they've rolled out recently, right? This is a good update. This is good for us and it's good for the buyers. So I don't think this update, in my opinion, has been pretty good on the surface. I hope
if you have any concerns or anything negative, can you please comment so we can provide feedback? Again, we're very big advocates of communicating with marketplaces in a constructive manner, so we can help them grow in the way it's good for them and for the reseller community.
Absolutely. And I'd like to reiterate what Desiree said. This now will give her the ability to not have to cancel things, which I think is one thing that Poshmark really doesn't want you to do now. And so if you have items on there if you have items that you don't put on Posh because they're too heavy, go and look in your catalog. Go see what you don't have there. Cross list those ones that you don't have over there. Do that because, you now can have up to the 15 pounds at a much easier way to do it. And I think you should rethink your bundle strategy on Posh. You can encourage larger bundles. Exactly. You can encourage, what would you like to buy 3 pairs of boots, right? Like whatever, Desiree, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. This is time to your strategy right now, resellers. You need to focus on bundles and heavy items. Now you're switching strategy to those cross listers on this perfectly. Go and see. You can sort, even by weight, start seeing what you have been avoiding to list in Poshmark because it's heavy. Now go cross list it.
Right. Okay. So now this is where we were going to start, but we preempted by Posh a little. So, So
now we go to our number one platform, our loved eBay. But here takes a little of NASA degree, rocket science, algorithms. Okay, Trish, enlighten us, please, because audience, this is a little complex. eBay even allowed third parties, you name it. Okay, anything. Okay, Trish, how can we do this simple, please?
Well, the great thing about eBay is also the complicated thing about eBay. The great thing about eBay is we have every choice under the sun. And when you're a new seller, those choices can be overwhelming, which is why when you're a new seller and you start on Posh, you're just like, oh, great, I can just throw it in this box and send it out. And you don't have to worry about anything. But when you are on eBay, you have everything under the sun. And so when you go in to decide, I kind of just thought we should give you guys a little bit easier way to think about it. USPS, which is the United States Postal Service, they can basically do anything, but some things they do really well. Small, lightweight packages, they do really well, right? Most of the time they get there, no problem. Most of the time they're within a certain cost frame. Now, let me ask you a question, Desiree. Do you find that you save money on the small packages through USPS comparatively to VQ? Do you find that VQ saves you money on those, or do you have to be at a certain level?
Nope. I save on every package, I feel, especially because I do charge a flat rate shipping on eBay. So no matter where, and I'm in South Florida, so I'm as far southeast as you can get. If I'm sending something to Alaska, Washington, Hawaii, I'm going to eat a lot of shipping. So I do have a flat rate subsidized shipping. So if you live in South Florida, if you live in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, I might make $1 or so off of you. If you live in Washington, I might lose $1 or so off of you.
So I do the exact same thing Desiree does. Desiree and I both call it. I just want to make this point, Desiree, because I don't want us to say something and people think that means when Desiree says she does subsidized shipping, she means her business is subsidizing her buyer's shipping cost, right? It does not mean that USPS, it doesn't mean eBay, it doesn't mean some third party out there is doing it. It's Desiree is subsidizing her own business. I do that also. And Desiree and I think you'll agree with me, Desiree, we do it because we want to look as attractive as possible to our to our buyers.
Yep. Not only that, but I also want to show up on Google first. Google will also prioritize that I have cheaper shipping. So they're going to go, wait, she has a great price, she has cheaper shipping, and she ships within 1 day. Boom, she's at the top.
Right. Yep. Agreed.
That's right.
So so I do the exact same thing as Desiree. So I just wanted to throw it out there. So when she says that, I don't want you guys to think it's something else. So, and then, the native, so let's just talk a little bit about native labels versus third-party labels. So when we talk about native labels, we're talking about buying directly through eBay, buying directly through Posh, buying directly through Depop. Now, there are some platforms, Poshmark, Depop. Should you always use a Depop label, or only once it comes to a certain price? Desiree.
I personally always use one, but you can use your own label. And then I believe Resellers is a place where you cannot use your own label.
I was like, I knew there was a third one. Okay, so Poshmark and Resellers, you have to use their labels. So you don't have any flexibility. You're tied into the way they want you to ship, which is good and bad, right? It's good because you just throw it in. There's very little rules. There's bad because you don't have the ability to make some decisions and do some things. And it can make, when people bundle and stuff, a little bit more complicated.
Right.
So, but
again, one little thing I will say about Depop, the buyer pays. Okay, so that's important to understand. And also, we have other marketplaces where you can set, buyer or seller pays. Okay, so that, just keep that in mind, resellers.
Oh, totally. You can absolutely. So Desiree uses a tiered shipping method, which a while ago, let's just talk about this for 1 second. A little while ago, eBay. So at eBay Open, eBay did a presentation with eBay and Google. And what they said in that presentation was that if you do not have shipping figured out when it goes to Google, that Google's not going to show it in Google Shopping. So meaning you have to have a set price before it goes out to Google. You can't have calculated shipping and be indexed all of the time in the Google. I'm like an old lady all of a sudden. In the Google, you can't be indexed in Google.
Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. The Facebook. So because of that, a lot of resellers after that presentation went from a calculated model to a flat rate model. Right. Okay. And the thing about the flat rate is there's different ways to do that. When Desiree and I were already on flat rate, but because we did it, we both do like the subsidized model. We don't charge our buyers as much, right?
Right. And again, subsidized by the reseller themselves.
Exactly.
Okay. There is no special, not because she's a speaker for eBay, she gets some special eBay subsidized.
I do not.
That's like saying free shipping is free. It's not free. We're all paying, somebody's paying.
Somebody is paying, and it's definitely not eBay. It's somebody on this side. Exactly. But what I want to make sure everybody understands is if you are using calculated shipping, it is my opinion, and I think everyone else here's opinion, that it's not best for your business for searchability.
No, not at all. I have a question for Desiree, since we're talking about this. Desiree, what was your biggest shipping mistake on eBay?
Oh, gosh. I would have to say my biggest shipping mistake, just being on eBay.
Desiree.
Trish loves Trish does not like Poshmark, and I'm just not my biggest fan is not eBay. But I think my biggest mistake on eBay was at first when I did initially start, it was calculated shipping, and I didn't weigh my packages. and something might have been a little bit over a pound. And again, I was having to eat that extra shipping. And then, of course, once I started with then a third party service, some of those third party services were only based on weight. And then I was not doing cubic dimensions. So I was just putting in weight. I didn't have to measure everything, and I hate numbers. So then once everything went to cubic weight and cubic pricing, I'm over here just going like, can I just have a flat rate for everything and we can be done with this? And that is why I started just doing flat rate from there. But yeah, I think my biggest issue with eBay was having to do the measurements, the weighing, and all of that preemptively before I could set my item. But now that I just do my own subsidized shipping, I can just say that I know that item's under a pound and I just select it when it sells, then I weigh it, then I ship it, and I'm done.
I do exactly what Desiree does. I make a estimated guess beforehand because I'm paying the difference anyways, right? So what do I care if it's exact? Because I'll make it exact when I buy the label. So I think sometimes you just have to decide, do you want to do the work up front or do you want to do the work when it sells? So for me, I do it exactly the way you do it. I think
either way, you're going to have to do the work. So like you said, either you're going to do it at the beginning and you might not list as much that day, or you're going to do it at the end and you might not list as much that day because you have 50 items to be packaged.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's a give and take, and you have to figure out which part of your business you want it to be, in the front or the back end.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. So let's just talk about this for a second. I think Clara's had some technical issues, so I'm sure she'll be back.
Yeah.
But third-party tools like Pirate Ship or Viku, great because it's often cheaper for bigger items, right? You get more carrier choices is kind of what we had started to talk about. And you get not on everything, but on some things you can get better rates, right? So depending on where you are, you can get better rates. And then I wrote manual tracking upload for some, but what's it not integrated with?
It's not integrated with Mercari, and it's not integrated with Depop, which those two, I end up using their labels anyways. I mean, for Mercari, it's $5 under, or 5 and change for under a pound. And I think once you hit that 3 pounds rate, it's like $7, and then 3 to 5, it's I think $8. So I mean, with that said, I always use Poshmark and Mercari's label, Depop and Mercari get their own label. Poshmark, I use their own label, but everybody else, I use Vico. And because everything is actually transferred, whether it's Etsy or it's eBay or your own website, it'll all come into the same dashboard on Vico, just like it does Pirate Ship. So it's all integrated in. When you purchase your label, just like Pirate Ship, it sends it to the platform and it updates it for you. The only downfall, just like Pirate Ship, if you accidentally misweigh the item, instead of putting in 1 pound 15 ounces, you put in 3 pounds 15 ounces, and you say, oh my gosh, and it already sent the label to the customer, you might have to go back and manually update it. But otherwise, it's very automated for you, and you also have this big giant pick list in front of you as well. So not only will you have List Perfectly's pick list, you'll have a pick list from them to show you exactly which platforms you need to get from.
Okay, and I just want to address what Crystal wrote in the chat, which she said, I'm not a fan of going off platform for shipping simply because I am SOL if the packages goes missing. So I just want to say this. She is correct, right? If you buy directly through the platform, they are more apt to, or they will back you, right? So when you don't, Miss Clara's back. I told you she'd be back. But when you don't,
she went off here in Rhode Island, so
I know. That's why I knew what happened. So, but what I wanted to say about it is, so if it's over, let's say, you got to make a thing in your head. If it's over a certain price, maybe it's not worth it to do it off platform, and I'm going to do it within the confines of the platform, even though they allow me to do it. Right. So, and you had that on Depop, right?
Yes, I specifically, I actually had a package I sent out. I did not use a Depop label because I thought, because the way Depop works, if it's over a pound, then it goes to 2 pounds. If it's over 2 pounds, you're paying 10 pounds. And for $13, it was 2.5 pounds. I'm like, I know I can get it to my customer for $9.99, whatever. I put $9.99 shipping in there. I sent out the item. The customer put the wrong address, or it did not get sent to the customer. So on its way back to me, it somehow got lost in transit. Contact Depop. The customer contacts Depop. Neither one of us have the item. And Depop says, sorry, you shipped off platform. You have to deal with it. So then I had to go open up a claim with USPS. And that was more time on my end to deal with it. So I do have like a $50 range. If it's over 50, I'm going to use platform shipping. If it's over 150, I'm actually going to use my own shipping, but I'm going to send it with insurance and signature confirmation, because that it also reassures me, because USPS does not cover you over a certain amount of money. Ground shipment's only $100. So if it's $150, I'm covering my butt.
Right. And I just want to say a lot of people use pirate ship, especially if they are doing their own international shipping. I think that's what you use too, right, Clara, when you did it?
Yes.
Yes. So because they get the simple, so it's called a simple export rate. So if you are somebody and you do your own, now I'm not talking about like through eBay international shipping program, right? We all know when we use eBay international shipping program, that stays within the United States. We send it to a hub. Then eBay itself is repackaging and then mailing it off. We don't have anything to do with that. But if you are somebody and you are doing your own international shipping, using pirate ship can save you a lot of money. You just need to go in and tell them you want to be added to the simple export rate. They'll add you and then you're able to do it. And it's a much, much better rate than, I think it's the cheapest rate I've ever seen for international.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a very good deal. And relying on a strategy to sell international is crucial. We all know my mistake. Okay. I was like, okay, when I got my website, was like, see you eBay, expensive fees, I'm gonna be free. And then I did my shipments of a very nice order. I didn't check with my team where it was sent, and nice top tier items were shipped to Malaysia. And of course, I was a chargeback 5 days later, and I lost my merchandise in my website. So I just want to say how important sometimes is to list those expensive items directly on marketplaces instead of your website, even though you think, hey, I don't want to pay for those fees, marketplaces fees.
You're paying for the coverage. You're paying for them to back you. That's what you're paying fees for, is for them to back you in every sense, if it's legitimate for you to be backed.
Exactly.
Another thing, I want to say thank you. Can you guys see my screen? I want to say thank you to Pam. Hodgepodge Pam. Let's talk about these, Trish, please.
Yep. So there seems to be something going on with Whatnot, and I don't think this is just Whatnot. I'm going to be truthful. I don't think this is just
generic. Okay?
This is a generic issue. Yeah. So when sellers either don't know what they're doing, are new, inexperienced, or there are a certain amount of sellers who try to game the system. Let's be honest, right? They think that they can get away with doing things.
Some change, nobody will notice.
Yeah, exactly. So this person underestimated the weight. So it is either by design or by mistake. Either way, what happens is two things can happen. It can show up at my house, I buy it, and I can owe postage on it. That could happen. Yep. It also could be that it doesn't even end up with me and it gets sent back, return to sender. And so
and in the meantime gets confiscated pretty much by the mail carrier.
Okay, that's the other thing. So that's the other thing I was going to say. There have been reports. I sound like I'm so official. There have been reports There
Their
have been
unofficial sources have
yeah,
confirmed.
unofficial sources have told us, but no, we do have official sources who have told us and shown us
Yeah.
that USPS, because it is through a deal it has with Whatnot, that they will sometimes confiscate them and maybe bring them back to Whatnot. I have not quite figured that part out yet, but they're like, no, you didn't pay enough shipping and we're not, dealing with it. And so they're just taken out of rotation. And so what's interesting about it is people will have a tracking number and the tracking number just kind of like just keeps saying like it's in their possession, it's in their position, it's in their possession, but it never moves after a certain point. And if you contact the post office, they're like, yeah, I don't know. It's not it's not moving.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing. And I think it's something we should be on the lookout for.
As a lawyer, I just want to say to the audience, resellers, please, okay, this is federal law, okay?
Exactly.
If anytime you're cheating to your mail carrier, this is a potential federal crime you're committing. We all know what happens to certain resellers, okay, that were doing those practices, all right, and that this is a big problem. Do not, please, the takeaway here is do not get shipping. Please, okay, you want a sustainable reselling business, do not fake shipping.
Account health. And not only is it poor customer service, because who the hell do I know when you're going to get my package, right? The other thing is that you can, and I have known people who have lost their accounts because they continually did this. So I don't want to make it, I'm not Chicken Little. I am not saying that the sky is falling. There are just some resellers who end up doing this as a course of, they're like, oh yeah, that's 15 ounces, put it on and keep it going.
Yeah.
And if it happens consistently and enough, you can get in trouble. And I think that what's happening on Whatnot, this is just my own personal opinion, you get 2 days, correct, to ship out the Whatnot packages. And if you have a really big show, and you have hundreds and hundreds of packages to ship out, and you don't have help, I think it can become very overwhelming. And so one of the things that I would like to throw out there is if you are a new Whatnot seller and you're having a show and it's really successful, know how many packages you can do in a day. How many packages can I print the labels, package up? How many can I do in a day? And if you get to that point, you've got to stop selling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you're going to get yourself in the position where you can't keep up. And then this stuff happens. And then you're in
trouble. The orders. That's it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And if you can't, don't ship anymore. Whatnot is 48 hours after you end your show. Correct. That's what I meant by the 2 days. Thank you, Julie. So 2 days. So if I end, at noon on Thursday, I haven't, well, let's not use Thursday because if I end noon on Monday, I got to get everything out by noon on Wednesday.
Right.
And if you can't do that physically, don't sell anymore. Wait, have another show. Yeah. So let's talk about real quickly. Do you guys treat the different platforms differently? Do you think now I'll sell these boots? Well, now this is an interesting thing now with the Poshmark thing, but did you used to think like I would sell these very heavy things here, but not here because the shipping is too difficult, Desiree?
No, I sold everything everywhere except for if it was over 10 pounds, I wasn't going to mess with Depop. Okay. So things like that. But as far as selling places and not selling things, no, I will now consider maybe putting different products on different platforms like Poshmark, maybe something that like I do have like some weights, like the little tiny handbell weights. They're 5 pounds each. I wasn't gonna sell them one by one. So now that is something I would consider putting up there without having to get in trouble.
Good. And then let's talk about one other thing. I want to talk about eBay really quickly, just to kind of put out there that there's been an eBay glitch. For return labels. So it used to be that you would send something out, Ground Advantage, and if they wanted to return it, the Ground Advantage they would get a Ground Advantage label and it would come back to you. And right now, for some reason, eBay is giving the customer a choice between Ground Advantage and FedEx. And the FedEx label is over double the Ground Advantage label price-wise.
Wow.
And if you offer free returns, you are getting billed that FedEx label. I have heard from a couple of different eBay sources that it's a glitch internally. They're trying to work it out and to pay attention because I think you're going to have to apply to get the money back, but at some point you should be able to. So I just want everyone to keep an eye out on their returns. So go in and look at your return labels every once in a while and make sure you don't have anything strange that you need to report.
I actually generally use some return labels from Vequo. If a customer has to return an item, I will send them a return label because I know then I have control over how much the label cost. And
I just have I have free returns. Just send it back to me. I'll worry about it later. Some things aren't worth the time and effort for me. That's one of them. But let's talk about this real quickly. So, ask yourself shipping strategy and pricing strategy. Ask yourself, is shipping baked into my price, or do you do what Desiree and I do and offer kind of like a subsidized shipping? Do you offer free shipping where it's standard? Something we talk about Mastermind every once in a while is making sure what you're doing is in line with what everyone else in your category is doing. So let's use Susie Eads as an example. Susie Eads sells bras. She sells more than that, but she does sell a lot of bras. And if bras are standardized free shipping in her category, then I think you need to offer free shipping because if it's standard in your category, you kind of need to go with what's on with that. Do you, Desiree, think about that when you're changing or doing something? What do you think about that?
I do offer free shipping on my website for over a $50 order. And the reason I do that is because obviously I'm not paying the fees like I do on other websites. I do, if it's on Poshmark and a customer does bundle a large order, I will offer free shipping. But generally, across the board, the only time I offer free shipping is, like you said, in certain categories where it's heavy competition, like health and beauty. My health and beauty products, I have hemorrhoid cream. So does everybody else. I have to make sure that my hemorrhoid cream stands out. And I have free shipping.
Okay. Those are words. Clara, come back here for 1 second. Clara, I got to be honest. Those are words.
Bolo. Okay, I can help. Okay, I'm putting Bolo hemorrhoid cream. Okay, I couldn't
exactly.
resist.
I mean,
I am doing it. I have to have. If I can have fun. Okay, now.
So the only thing I got to tell you, if somebody had said to me, is someone going to say I need my hemorrhoid cream to stand out on the YouTube channel? I would have said never.
Yes, I do.
I love our reselling community. It's the best, man.
So let me tell you really quick.
Be on the lookout. Hemorrhoid.
Exactly. So, but I was going to tell you about being on the lookout. So Desiree and I are in Florida with Yaya, Cheryl Hinton, and Chris Dunnard. We're in Florida, the four of us one time last year. And we went to a bin store, not like the Goodwill bins, but one of those return bins where they bring you out the stuff that was returned. And Desiree's finding stuff and she's doing things. Oh God, I'm not putting hemorrhoid cream on my face, Angela.
I tried it. It does work. Okay. Yes, Angela, it does work. I did try it. Guilty. I will try anything for my face to look younger. Okay. You name it. I'll try it. Yes.
Oh my God. So anyways, so we're there at the bin store and this stuff comes out called Body Glide. And it's like a stick. No, it's not. It's like a stick that you would put on like your thighs so they don't rub together. Or
like a chafing cream.
Yeah. So
yes.
Okay, so they start coming out and she keeps finding them and she's finding more and she's finding more and she's finding more and she keeps handing me them. And I said, don't you want them? She's like, no, I got too much stuff because she was going back on the train. And she said to me, I don't have room for fit them. I know, Tommy. That's where I'm going with this. So she keeps giving them to me and keeps giving them to me. So I end up with a bag full that I bring to my house in Florida. I only sell clothes. I only sell from Massachusetts. I wasn't even thinking about it in Florida. So Vicky comes to Florida and she says, "What the hell are these?" And I was like, "Oh, bring them home and sell them." She sold them for like $80. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? $80.
Health and beauty.
Now, what is it? Some people look at the glass half full or half empty. I sold it.
Yes. And you bought it for how much?
Yeah. What did I spend on those? Like 10 cents or something?
Yeah. Like almost nothing. And I mean, I did the same thing. I ended up buying like testing kits, and I bought them for a few dollars and sold them for $60 or $80 on Amazon, and they sold within a day. And so like certain items you can purchase, whether you're buying through those kind of channels. Yeah, there you go. Those are the ones she purchased, $89.
This is Vicky's ad. $89. She just sold it February 8th. $90 with $10 shipping. $100.
She turned 90 cents into $90.
Go to bundles now on Poshmark.
Exactly. Vicky, do it now.
Go, everybody, go to bundles, okay? So no, I think that this is really good that we are sharing this, okay? And to everybody, I just wanted to do a little recap of how important, if you're not shipping internationally, please, okay, you're missing out. You are missing out, and it's something that we really encourage you. If you have any questions about shipping internationally, don't forget that we finish here and we go to listing party where you can have a one-on-one with us and go deeper. Even Desiree will be there to help you if you have any questions. But Trish, what a topic. And yes, reminder on Monday, this coming Monday, February 16th, okay? You don't need to have your packages ready, but don't be waiting for the postman, okay? So yes, we have President's Day and there is no
I just wanted to remind everybody that there was for next week. So in closing, let me just throw this up there. In closing, let's just say that shipping doesn't have to feel chaotic. I think that when you first start, shipping is one of those things that's very, very confusing. Take your time, learn each platform. I think that's really important. Don't just throw stuff up. Learn it. Make sure you're not going to lose your shirt in the shipping. Because with the right system, you can protect your margins, you can improve buyer experience, you can reduce returns, and you can scale confidently. And most of us, that's what we're trying to do, right? Most of us are trying to scale some way or the other. But Clara just touched on it. Bring your questions, bring your items. Let's fix the shipping together and let's do it on Listing Party. And I hope to see you all there. We do this. We have a live after our live every week, but we also have Listing Party every single day, Monday through Friday. We have lots of different topics. We have actually all 7 days a week. There's topics, but Monday through Friday, we do Mastermind every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. I want to thank Desiree. She's done this week. She did a party for me, and last week she did a party for me. My stepdad passed away, and so I had to go home and help my mom, and Desiree stood up and did it for me. And so I want to thank you again, Desiree. I really appreciate it. And it's great when somebody in our community comes in and, shares what they know.
But it's a testimony of the community we have built on List Perfectly. These are not resellers. I love what is that you say? You're not competitors, you're resellers.
No.
Friends. What are they? Your coworkers?
Yep. And we're not, in my opinion, we're not competing. Even if we sold the same item, we are such a small insular community, right? I mean, even if it was 10, 15,000 of us, there are millions of resellers. Exactly. So the people that we help, that we talk to, that we want to get to the next level, we're not competing with them. Exactly. And I also think personally, the better all resellers do, it's better for our business, right? The best experience you have, you're going to keep coming back and you don't mind buying from us. If you have a bad experience and you leave eBay, that's not good for anybody. Right. So the better resellers are in general, I think it's best for all of our businesses.
And some
Absolutely.
of us can talk each other off the ledge. Some of us are like, I'm done with this. I can't handle this platform. And then you get somebody else in the room with you that's like, all right, let's work this out together.
Right.
And I have to say, I have made some of my best friend co-workers through List Perfectly, including Trish and Clara. I consider them friends and family. So I really appreciate you both giving me the opportunity of being here. And it was an honor to actually substitute for Trish to do Mastermind.
Oh, thanks, Desiree. She's so sweet. She's just like, I'll do it. Just leave. You're fine. I'm fine. It's fine.
Family is important, and you have really good family, and I wish I had that. So I consider you all my family, and that's just what family does.
Oh,
you.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Desiree. Thank you, Trish. Thank you, everybody watching at home. I just want to remind you again, shipping is not logistic. This is your margin. It can be negative or positive, okay? But $5 here, $5 here, there, and then you're working for free. So you don't need more effort. What you need is better shipping decisions. So join us on Listing Party. Bring your cases, bring your questions, and we'll help you in order to maximize your profit. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.